All right, so our bell ringer for today is going to be to solve these four tasks where we're adding fractions with unlike denominators. You'll notice that us being able to find the GCF or LCM is going to help us to solve these tasks. So if you would in your notebook, write down these four tasks. The numbering is messed up, please forgive me. Any more trash? Okay. Let's take some time to start solving this. I want to give you some time to think of some strategies that you would want to use here to find the sum for each of these. My students who are watching this video, if I go too fast for you, feel free to pause this video so that you can work these four out before I start working on it with the face-to-face students. So I want to look at that first one with you there. Just to make sure, I'll put it back up in a second, just to make sure that our strategies that we're using are making sure that we incorporate that GCF or LCM. I want you to understand that before I can add these two fractions together, their denominators must match. So if both of their denominators are going to increase to 10, I found the LCM. And the LCM between 5 and 10, the least common multiple, is 10. So when I changed the denominator to match the LCM, I have to think about how I got to 10. 10 times 1 here. Whatever I multiply by on the bottom, I also must multiply with on the top. So this one will stay as is. How did I get from 5 to 10, guys? I multiplied by 2. Whatever I multiply by on the bottom, I have to do it to the top. So now I'm looking at two like denominators. So that's an easy solve. What is the answer here? 7/10. I'm going to put the other three problems back up, and I want you to use your own strategy here. And while you do that, I'm going to take attendance. Turn around and see. girl. We don't have time for this. Are you helping or writing down? Right. We have no time for that. All right, so let's talk me through, Torian, talk me through this one here, number 6. So our least common multiple here, Torian, would be what? Between 5 and 20. That's a factor. Our least common multiple, remember multiples are our count bys, our products. Jeremy? 20. So I need to change both of those fractions to have a denominator of 20. So 4/5 would turn into 16/20. So my answer here, my final answer would be 19/20. If you would please in your notes, and I want to show you here as a star statement, and actually 2 star statements. Star statements are things we don't want to forget. Amir. Oh, okay. When adding and subtracting fractions, we use the LCM to create like denominators. I'm actually going to, sorry y'all, I'm actually going to highlight that. You should too. Now, as a reminder, we have our quiz tomorrow on dividing fractions. So today we're going to take some time making sure we understand what happens here and also working with some word problems for dividing fractions. So let's look at this one here. Please write it down in your notes. It's our third bell ringer for today. I have 1/2 times 7/8. We want to remember what's going to be our first step here. And now I'm sorry, guys, that should be divided by. My bad. Hopefully you're writing with pencil. before I flip to the reciprocal, yeah, I'm going to change my sign. Now, Kaylee, what am I going to do? Reciprocal of which one? It's going to be the second one. The second fraction is the one we flip. The reciprocal of 7/8, which will be 8/7. Then multiply across. So when we do that, we now have 1/2. We now have 1/2 times what, y'all? 8/7. And we're going to multiply straight across. 8/14. Is that in simplest form? So our step 4 would be to simplify if needed. Our step 4 would be to simplify if needed. So how would I simplify 8/14? Would I use GCF or LCM? GCF. Very good. So the GCF of what two numbers? Madeline? Say it again. Okay, 2 is the GCF between what two numbers? 8 and 14. So when I find that GCF, I'm going to divide both of those. And that's going to give us 4/7. How do I know that's in simplest form? Emerson? Very good. Very good. I wanted to look at one more time because some of you have homework with this tonight because you didn't come see me during first period like I asked you to. So what I wanted to make sure we're understanding how to use that GCF. And for some of my students who are virtual, they missed that lesson, so I want them to see it here. Let's say I have 15 plus 48. Oh my goodness, that one may not have a common one. Does that one have a common factor other than 1? I don't think so. Let's change that to 15 plus 60. 15 plus 60. We already know the sum. That's going to be 75. So we want to make sure we include our sum in our answer. But we have to use the distributive property to do our GCF. Okay? So, Vita, tell us what we'll do first. Between 15 and 60, what will we do? Yeah. So I want to make sure I can list those factors correctly. Both of these are composite numbers. Can someone raise their hands and tell us what does composite mean? Composite versus prime. Torian? By more than one in itself. It has more than 2 factors.